everyone. So welcome back to the channel. Thank you all for being here. If you are new, as always, hit that subscribe button, give the video a thumbs up, and please leave some comments down below.
But you said you already had did you just have the one salon at this point when with Lee when he
when he came?
Yeah, when he came, was it just Kettering or?
No, I had Kettering and Oundle. So
Oundle was second.
Oundle was second, yeah. So
I thought Uppingham was second.
Nah, Oundle. So I opened Kettering in 2011, Oundle 2012, Uppingham 2013. No, I didn't. This was the story. That's why Lee Stafford was there. So Kettering 2011, Oundle 2012. I had a year where I wanted to invest in my team in education because that was like that's always been the core to me. I was like, right, we're going to invest in education this year, which is why Lee Stafford came. We had Andrew Barton come to the salon. We had some guy from America, Steve. He came over to the salon and did some cut-in days for us. That year was all about education with myself and the team. And then 2014 opened Uppingham. 2015, I was in the process of opening Market Harborough. But during that time, I was moving Oundle to a much bigger premises. And then I did those two at sort of around the same time. And then I opened the following year upstairs in Oundle, 2016. 2017, I think we had a rest of opening places. 2018, moved Kettering, the first salon, to a much bigger premises where we both are.
Yeah.
And then I mean, this is fate, mate. I decided to sell Market Harborough and Uppingham because they were the smaller ones. The brand went from boutique to big salons, and Market Harborough and Uppingham was still little. So in 2018, late 2018, I decided to sell them both. I had 2 offers come in from people and was like, look, I'm literally spread so thinly with 4 salons, working abroad, doing everything that I'm doing. I just couldn't do it anymore. And then you think of it, a year later, COVID hit.
Yeah.
So again, everything's like snowballed, and then everything happens for a reason. Like there was that moment where I got them offers for the salons where I just thought, look, I've got no time. It's like the energy that you put out, the vibe that you put out is obviously the vibe attracts your tribe. I could have been putting out a vibe where the universe was like Paul can't deal with 4 salons. He just can't do it, and everything else he's doing. So somebody needs to come in and buy these. And that is what happened.
And I think as well, you're not the same person you are when you opened the first salon. Like when I did mine, the first thing in my head was like, I want a barbershop in every town. I want this, and that. And then like a few years later, you just feel like, for me, it's like, I don't want that. I'm just quite happy just keeping it small, but thinking big. It like I don't know, like that classic saying, is it? Think global, act local. And that's just if you want to take over the world with salons, you can. But I think it was the thought that probably people have in their head, but you change over time, and you have, in a way, you've halved the salons that you've got, but you've gone onto other things like YouTube, which you wouldn't have been able to do with 4 salons at all.
No, mate. I mean, you just go back to Lee Stafford again. He had 7 salons at one point. I think it was 150 staff. He had a TV crew following him around. So this is like the first sort of instance of YouTube, let's say. And he had to go and do all these other jobs, and he was working everywhere, all over the place. And then his salons closed down because he couldn't give enough time to the salons. And he's very open with saying that. He took me under his wing, and he's given me so much advice that I've took on board 100%, and that's shaped sort of the future as well. But
that's good. Yeah. Do you have any plans for any more salons, or are you just happy with the 2? Or
happy with the 2, completely happy with the 2. Never say never.
Yeah.
But never say never. but I cannot see myself opening another salon purely for the fact of how much I work as an artist and educator now. I just haven't got the time to be able to. If it was like, if I was the person who was franchising, then yeah, possibly you could just do that. But that's not my vibe.
You're working on the biggest salon in the world, really, with YouTube itself. You're branching out to more people than you ever could, even if you had a salon in every town in the country.
Oh mate, I did a live last night, and there was someone from Canada, Germany, America, Australia, obviously UK, India. Like, I was teaching people all over the world how to do this haircut I was doing last night from my salon in the studio. Like, it's like absurd what we can do now with.
Yeah, massively. It's one of the reasons I wanted to get into barbering, because you could teach, not me personally, but you're talking about teaching people all over the world. You can't really do that with many things. You couldn't have an electrician doing a live broadcast about how to do electrics, because somebody in India or somebody in Canada would be like, well, we can't do that here because all of our wires are totally different. And it's so transferable all over the world. There's no boundaries to what you can and can't do.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know that better than anyone, mate, because that's what, like, so inspiring what you did when you took time out and you've done it abroad. So tell us about that.
I think, that was the reason I got into it, because I love traveling, and I knew that's what I wanted to do, but I also wanted something I could take with me, and barbering and hair came up pretty quick, because you've got people that are traveling for months, years at a time.
Yeah.
There's people I met 6 years ago that haven't stopped traveling since I met them. And meeting somebody who can speak English, which is a universal language when you're in Asia or other places in the world, that can cut hair, was always a good thing. And it was a good way to meet people. So I used to just turn up to hostels, get chatting to a load of guys, and just say, like, if anyone needs a haircut, let me know. And it would just be like, oh wow, could you cut hair? And I'll be there cutting hair. They'll be buying me drinks. I didn't really take money for it. I think that was my idea in my head. Sometimes they'd chuck me a couple of quid and I'd just pay for a hostel for the night and things like that. But I wasn't out there to make money from it. But I was also very newly qualified, so I don't know if I was in any position to be charging money for haircuts that I was putting out, but it was better than anything they were going to get with that language barrier they would have got. But something I definitely want to carry on doing as well. Traveling and cutting hair, meeting people, podcasting about it, vlogging about it, and I love it.
Just touching on that then, with your traveling and getting into barbering, me and Jason, we crossed paths. I was cutting your hair.